And welcome to Q&A 7 Lockdown. Funny story, I brought this up in the What If yesterday, but I had actually recorded the Q&A. Mark was actually able to come over on Monday, and we were actually record the Q&A. We recorded it, but unfortunately the battery level on my computer actually ran out before we finished it, and it cut the review off. So when I got the computer hooked up again to got the charger on, it was still recording, so I had to try to fix that. Eventually I fixed it, but unfortunately the video was just not usable at that point. So, sorry, Mark. I know you were there. I know you spent some time doing it. I know we were there for a while, but, well, it was what it is. So I'm just going to do it by myself this time around. Same Q&A as before, or same, you'll probably hear a lot of the same answers. They may have changed since then, but whatever. This is going to be a lot quicker than the last one, too, so keep your eyes out on that. So anyway, Solar Spartan, Solar Spartan asks, A, how are you handling quarantine? 2, what will you do once you hit 10,000 sub milestone? Congrats on reaching 6,000 subs. You deserve them. Well, thank you for that. First, how am I handling quarantine? I actually am I'm handling it pretty well. There's been some mild stresses, particularly on my girlfriend's part, because she actually has to stay home. Like, she isn't working. I'm actually still working. My job was considered essential, so I actually still got to go to work. So that helped me out quite a bit. She's been trying to find methods to cope, but it's been a little difficult on her. But she's handling it all right, dude. Ultimately, I'm handling it, I would feel pretty well. And number 2, what will I do once I hit 10,000 sub milestone? Well, I have no idea. Probably A, another Q&A, but B, I would want to do something else, not just a Q&A. Like a super awesome Q&A, sure, but something besides that. But why don't we focus on getting to 7,000, then 8, then 9 before we talk about what I do when I get to 10. Thank you, though, for the question. And thank you for the congratulations. Hokage Varus, you gave me a couple who would wins. Obviously, I believe I wrote these down already, but I'll go into more in depth in the actual video. But to give my quick thoughts on these who would win suggestions, Kakashi from the Pain Arc versus Shisui Uchiha. Well, seeing as we don't know the full extent of Shisui Uchiha's powers, in fact, we know very little of them, and that's including the games. Yes, he's got Susanoo in the games, but yeah, that's including the games. I gotta go Kakashi. Minato, if you were alive, versus the Third Raikage, if you were alive. Now, if I'm not mistaken, A is the 4th. So, we're talking about the one that was resurrected in the Pain Arc, or in the War Arc. That one's tough, because of just how durable he was. Like, Minato could probably outspeed him, because he outspeeds A. But that's a tough call. Because of the sheer durability, but because also Minato was a Seal Master, I'll give the edge to Minato, but I think that one could go either way. That one would require me do a lot more research. Sasori versus Kasame, no, 100%. If nothing, for no other reason alone, his sword can absorb anything Sasori dishes out in terms of chakra, like chakra strings. His puppets aren't going to work. Kakashi from the War Arc versus Itachi, alive but sick. Probably actually going to go with Kakashi on that. Because Itachi was sick, we saw how powerful he was when he fought Sasuke, but he was really sick at that point. Like he was going to be dead in a couple hours. Kakashi died in his prime. Basically, that's peak Kakashi War Arc. I'll go Kakashi on that one, quite frankly. Because his Kamui can seriously help him evade a lot of problems. And then DMS Kakashi versus Madara. I keep always saying Madara. I know it's not Madara. I believe it's Madara. Or Madara. If DMS is like Obito's Mangekyo, like full powered when he gets Susanoo and both Mangekyo temporarily, that's tough because that Kamui effect is pretty powerful. So, but ultimately I'll probably go Madara. But yeah. But yeah, those are my thoughts quickly on those. Mighty Everest, you asked, how are you okay in quarantine? Well, I responded to that with Solar Spartan, but yes, I'm okay. Have you had any plan to do any reactions? And do you plan to do fanfic reading to any anime like Pokemon, Naruto, or so on in the future? And Sharon Road also commented, I can think of a few complete Naruto fanfictions that would be fun. In terms of doing the reactions, you'll notice I haven't done any I haven't done any death battles, schmodowns, trailer reactions. The trailer reactions are very hard because half the time they drop while I'm at work and I don't want to wait until I get home to watch the trailer. The Schmodown, I found that, I mean, not a lot of people were watching them, but normally I don't, doesn't care about that. I found that, honestly, I fell out of doing it simply because I just had other things to do. I just couldn't get around to doing, and I just like watching them anyway. So maybe at some point I'll go back to doing the Schmodown reactions, because the copyright on those really isn't that difficult to deal with. It's the copyright, frankly, on the Death Battle ones. Like a lot of people, because quite frankly, I had never truly experienced copyright issues or having my video taken down before it even went up until I did that. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll ever do the Death Battle reactions again. Maybe at some point, but I can't guarantee it. As for do I plan to do any fanfic reading, is that something more than one person would like? Because I mean, if enough people ask me to do it, I'll give anything a shot at least once. But yeah, I had no initial plans to do any fanfic reading. But if I'll say this, because I've got over 6,100 subscribers now, if at least 100 of you guys would like that, or hell, at least if 50 of you guys would like that, yeah, I'll say 50 on that. If at least 50 of you guys would like that, let me know on that. If let's say this, if this video can get at least 50 to 100 likes, I will consider doing a fanfic reading. I won't do anything that has sex in it because, frankly, I don't want to get freaking flagged or, have to be monetizing my videos in a different way than I have to. But, coarse language is fine, all that. I can think of a couple that I always enjoy that I might go into, that I could do. But yeah, Pokemon, Naruto fanfics, so on and so forth. If enough people ask me or give me enough support behind that to do that, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Just know, I have so many things I do on the channel already, between my what ifs, my who would wins, Lantern Corps videos, Death Battle predictions, the worst of best videos that I'll throw in there now, then plus any other random videos, that it's a lot to juggle. So if I did do it, don't expect it to be a regular thing, maybe like every couple of weeks or so. But yeah, maybe. Hugo M _678 says, what is your favorite what if that I've done? Now here's the weird thing about that, because as I've gone further on, I've done a lot of what ifs. My what if style has changed a bit. So if I were thinking of some of my favorites I've done, the Naruto Uchiha one was actually a pretty solid one I like. Then the Jiraiya adopting Naruto, I like that one a lot too. Those might be up there. I'll admit, and people bring this up because I don't do a lot of them just because of how many little thing to bring up here. People keep asking, when are you going to do My Hero? Are you ever going to do a My Hero? Are you ever going to do a Bleach what if? Are you ever going to do this what if? Absolutely, I am. The problem is 90% of the what ifs I get are neither of those. They're Dragon Ball or Naruto what ifs. So because I'm going through my book of people who have given me suggestions, it's just going to take a long time to get to those suggestions. Plus, with the problem with the My Hero what ifs, and I should note right now that I have found a bit of a loophole around this, and I'll explain that in just a second. With the My Hero what ifs, I'm trying to hold off on those as long as possible because the series is not only still ongoing, it's still relatively young. Like, you look at where Naruto and Bleach ended between like chapters like 700 some odd chapters and 600 some odd chapters, and how One Piece is still going. My Hero is not even at 300 chapters yet. Maybe when we hit like 350 or 400, that's when I'll really consider starting the My Hero what ifs. But what happens when I start My Hero what if and I hit the point where we are in the series and I can't go any further until more of the series continues on? Then I would have to either start making stuff up off the top of my head, which in that case I'm just doing fan fiction, which I do not do. I might read fan fiction at some point on the channel, but I'm not doing fan fiction. I'm doing a what if, which is still taking from the actual story. It's just changing things up based on the suggestion of the what if. So that's the biggest reason I haven't done a My Hero what if. Is just I'm going to end up getting to a point where I can't go any further in the story and end it. So ultimately, but anyway, so that's where I stand on that. Bleach, however, I can do Bleach, no problem. I can do other ones, no problem. It's just I haven't gotten around to them yet. At some point, be it this week of what if, which the week of what if, by the way, is coming up this week, so keep your eyes out, or in a year from now, don't worry. Other what ifs besides the Naruto and the Dragon Ball Z ones will come out. Don't worry about it. And I throw one out there every now and then, especially for like the one shot what else. But anyway, that's my answer to that. Is that probably the Jiraiya one, Adopting Naruto, the Naruto Uchiha was a good one. And I'll admit, one of the very early ones I ever did was what if Zaraki had his Shikai and Bankai at the beginning? So that one, because I love Kenpachi Zaraki. So, he was easily one of my top 5 favorite Bleach characters. No problem. No issue. Mighty Pup Zuma. Do you like WWE? 1 of 4. Do you like WWE? I'm not big on it. To answer in favor of Mark likes it fine. It's entertaining for what it is. I'm not as big on it, but it's going to be entertaining. What top 5 favorite games have you played? We got this last time too. Unfortunately, doing top 5s are tough right off the top of my head. I could have written it down prior, but again, working and busy with other videos. Right off the top of my head, from just talking about I'll talk about the Pokemon series as a whole is one. One of my favorite games ever is the Dark Cloud series for PlayStation 2. I loved the Dark Cloud series. Like, oh my god, please. No, that's PlayStation. Shit. No, because it's PlayStation, we can't get it for Nintendo Switch because they're 2 different Damn it! Sony owns PlayStation. No, I would love to have a remake, just a rebooted version of that on this. Update the graphics, either the first or the second or both on the Nintendo Switch. I would love Dark Cloud. You don't know how much I loved Dark Cloud as a kid. Granted, I got it before we actually had a memory card for a PS2, so anytime I tried to play it, it just all the progress was gone afterwards. Eventually, we figured it out and got a memory card. But yeah, I loved Dark Cloud. I really like Darksiders. Darksiders 2, to be precise, where he plays Death. That's really good. The Arkham games, I gotta throw that into one suggestion as well. The Arkham games are fantastic. And if I had to throw one more out there, this is gonna sound really weird. Tetris. It's simplistic, but you know what? I love the simplicity in Tetris. It really is. Just, get the line, don't screw it up, don't hit the top. There it is. Sometimes the simplest thing is the best answer. Also, what is your top 5 favorite anime or cartoon? Okay. Again, top 5's not the best off the top of my head. Maybe I should have written it down, but oh well. If I were to separate them really quick, top 5 anime, Bleach is going to be in there, definitely. Hellsing Ultimate OVAs, that counts. That's definitely in there. Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin. And I mean Rurouni Kenshin like I watched it on Toonami, not necessarily Samurai X, but Rurouni Kenshin. I like Dragon Ball Z, great, but I don't know if I'd actually put it in my top 5, oddly enough, and it's one of the biggest what ifs I have on the channel, so go figure. What would number 5 be? I don't know what my number 5 would be. Maybe I'd have to throw Dragon Ball Z in there. I was actually never a big Inuyasha fan. I don't hate it. I have a friend who loves it. I got her a pack of all the movies and stuff for Christmas one year, and she loved it. Gave me a big hug. It was nice. In terms of just general cartoons, oh god, Batman the Animated Series, right up there. That's probably my number 1, quite frankly. Avatar, most recent year. Avatar is one of the best just American cartoons overall, period. Like some of the best writing I've seen. Korra, not so much. Korra's not bad, just Avatar's far better. I'd say the original X-Men cartoon, also good. I liked Ben 10. I'll put Ben 10 on there. And then last but not least, let's be clear, we're talking like Family Guy and American Dad as well. That kind of cartoon, in which case I'll throw Rick and Morty in there as well. So there you go. And then final question from Mighty Pup Zuma, at least in this section. You might have given me more later on. What's your favorite death battle fight? Oh, the Goku versus Superman part 1 and 2, even though I don't, and that's another question later down the line about agreeing or disagreeing with a death battle. Even though I don't quite agree with the outcome, those are fantastic fights. The Obi-Wan Kakashi fight was actually pretty good too recently. I mentioned the Lex Luthor Iron Man fight. That's a great fight too. And should note all these are in 3D, so that probably helps a little bit. I know there was another one that was sticking out in my head too for a moment there, and now I've kind of lost. Oh, the Thanos versus Darkseid fight was fantastic. Yeah, love that fight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Minecraft Lord says, "Good job on 6,000 subs. Balloon. Is that pizza or ice cream? I think it's balloon, ice cream, balloon, ice cream, balloon, balloon. Thank you, by the way. Also, ideas. What if Naruto had Shoto's quirk, and what if Goku had the Rinnegan? Obviously, I added these to the what ifs, or to your what if section, or I added these suggestions to the book, so don't worry about that. Pretty sure I did. I'll have to check your spot in the what if book. But what if he had Shoto's quirk, which is the half hot, half cold quirk? He would be quite powerful. Like he wouldn't even really be using jutsu most of the time. But he'd probably get arrogant a little bit, so he'd have to actually, learn jutsu. Really, he would have a Keke Genkai out of this, is what he'd have. And if his quirk manifested with chakra as well, that means he'd have at minimum wind, water, and fire chakra, which would suit Naruto pretty well. And then what if Goku had the Rinnegan? That's weird, because I don't think Goku would realize he'd had the Rinnegan for a while until he realized certain powers he had. And I don't know how often he'd use them. If he had born with it, he might grow to use them, but he might, just because of his Saiyan heritage, decide not to use them just to, give his opponents a fair fight, because he likes a fair fight more than anything else, because he's Goku. And as much as we love him, he is also really stupid. Especially when it comes to his opponent, giving him a chance. So yeah, that'd be my quick thoughts on that. The Seven Sin YT, what got you into Naruto and anime in general? Hearsay, I always enjoyed cartoons. Eventually, it's kind of the idea of anime is kind of the more adult form of cartoons in a lot of kids' minds. It's Japan, it's anime. Like the whole idea of, naughty hentai and stuff like that. But, anime is kind of considered the adult form of cartoons compared to what we had in the West, at least at the time. So it's kind of that idea a little bit. Plus, just expanding horizons, really. Shang Tsung asks 4 questions. Would you rather be an alchemist or the Avatar? Avatar. Alchemist, you need to make a sacrifice most of the time. Avatar, you're just the Avatar. And you have a lot quicker uses of your abilities than, say, with the alchemy. What Lantern Corps does Michael Corleone belong into? If I were to say that one really quick off my head, I've added this, by the way, to the Lantern Corps book. But if I were to go really quick off the top of my head, I'd say he's probably either Fear or he's Red Lantern, because he's got a lot of anger because of the situation. He was pissed off, every time I try to get out, they pull me back in. But more anything because he's the Dawn and because he did a lot of stuff and because, that's where he was. I would say, yeah, he'd probably be a Yellow Lantern. But again, I'll go into more in depth whenever I get to a video about Michael Corleone. Would you rather have the healing? Who has the better healing factor? Alucard, Spawn, Deadpool, or Dante? Well, I'd say Deadpool is probably at it. Well, Spawn is actually probably the weakest one because Spawn needs to feed off necroplasm or intense negative emotions. And if Spawn overtaxes his, he'll go back to hell. Deadpool's is powerful, but its limitations are pretty clear in some ways. But he can still be incinerated and come back and not. He can be incinerated and done. He can be decapitated. He can be melted. All that, but he's got limitations. He can't just regrow things in an instant. Whereas Dante can survive impalement and be fine. But Dante's isn't as clear cut either. Like he can survive impalement, shot in the head, all that stuff. But it's not likely he can survive a decapitation, full incineration of his body, whatnot. Again, I haven't played the game, so I can't be certain on that. Alucard, the Alucard is interesting because, as far as we know, Alucard has around 2 million souls in him by the time he releases Saint Level 0 goes off. It's believed that the reason his regeneration is so high is because anytime he would actually die, besides his own vampire regeneration, anytime he'd actually die, he's supplanting one of their souls in place of his. That's why when he swallowed Schrodinger's soul, he couldn't get rid of Schrodinger's soul, so his powers Schrodinger's powers became his powers. So I'd actually go to Alucard on that one. That's my opinion. I know a lot of people get on my case because I don't know enough research. I don't do enough research about Dante. Okay, look, I do as much research as I can. If I don't interpret it right, I'm sorry you disagree with that. And you know what? That doesn't mean I'm right either. Let's be clear about that. That does not mean I'm right either. But people get on people's cases all the time just because someone doesn't understand their fandom the way they do. And I get it, but at the same time, come on, I'm just trying to do the best I can with what I have. Anyway, Derp Nerd 114. Have you picked up any new hobbies during quarantine? If not, what is a hobby of yours? P.S. I have been with your channel since 1.5 K subs. Thank you for that. And I want to say I'm very happy that you've gotten this far. I love your content and I'm very excited to see what is in store for you in the future. Love you, man. Well, thank you very much. I love you too, Derp Nerd. 114. No, I haven't really picked up any new hobbies in the quarantine. In terms of hobbies of mine, magic, doing the channel. Those are two of the big ones. Obviously, normally I'd be going out to see movies at least once a week, because I would do reviews too. But right now that's not happening. So movies are a big hobby of mine as well. That's among them. Among the what I normally say for hobbies. I mean, I have other hobbies, but those are some of my big ones. Revan30, if you could choose what anime you wanted from the 90s to be your next Naruto, what if? What would it be? And again, it's your own personal opinion. I would love to see an Inuyasha or Yu Yu Hakusho crossover, but that's just me, or even a Ruin Safe. And Shang Tsung replied, I'm more of a Bleach guy myself or Hunter x Hunter. Well, I'm more of a Bleach guy than Naruto guy, to be honest, as well. But neither of those are actually from the 90s. Bleach and Hunter x Hunter came more in the early 2000s. But at least I know Bleach did. Hunter x Hunter may have started in the 90s. I don't think it did. In terms of a 90s anime to cross over Naruto, Yu Yu Hakusho is not a bad one. Honestly, Rurouni Kenshin. I've had ideas for Rurouni Kenshin crossovers with Naruto before, so that would definitely be the main idea I'd have for that one. Ghost, the Juicy Gamer Boy, Sadberry. What's your least favorite anime you've watched? Oh God, oh that's right, I remember this one. Least favorite. It'd have to be an anime that I really just didn't like. Because here's the thing with anime: if you don't like it, like the first few episodes, most of us just don't watch it. So it's got to be something that I either stuck with or saw enough of it that I just got the general gist of it. I don't know the name of it. It was kind of a slice of life with psychological horror aspect and trauma added into it. Where it was about this kid who had a crush on this girl, and he had his female friend, and she was like, okay, use me as practice and all that, I'll help you get the girl. And he helps her, and it's this weird love triangle, and then like one gets dumped and starts sleeping around the friends, and the other gets dumped, blah, blah, blah. Eventually it leads to this, where he leaves the girl who forced him in the relationship, not the one he was after, the one who was helping him, his former friend now. But he dumps her. She says he's pregnant. Well, you gotta go get a divorce, and she kills him. Then the other girl's gone completely messed up, kills her, cuts her open, and says, you're not pregnant, I knew it, and then takes his head and brings him onto her boat with his decapitated head. Like, okay, like, no, this isn't messed up. And look, I know there's a lot of messed up anime out there. Don't get me wrong. But if you want to talk about something I didn't really enjoy at all, yeah, that would be it. And I was only watching because a friend of mine was like showing me episodes and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, this is a thing. So yeah. JRC, on your What If Naruto Race Tsunade Part 2, you mentioned mixed martial arts styles. Do you study martial arts? If so, which ones are you studying? Well, I took a little bit of karate as a kid, like most kids did. I never actually legitimately studied under a master or anything like that. But I do have an interest in self-defense. Well, first off, it's always important, I think, you should know how to defend yourself. Let me adjust that real quick. There we go. It's always important, I think, you should know how to defend yourself. Know how skilled you are, and that's dependent on anyone's personal preference. How much they want to, do to get in shape and, defend themselves. But in terms of, have I studied mixed martial arts? No, not professionally. I've dabbled in them. I know forms. I know certain styles to the most base degree, integrated into it's kind of a blended style. But in terms of like a strict, like, do I know how to do Mace's Kung Fu? I know I know some of the poses, but no. Do I know how to drunken box? I'll admit, actually, I do know how to drunken box a little bit. But do I actually know legitimate drunken monkey or legitimate drunken Kung Fu? No, I don't. But in terms of, have I studied some? I've studied a little bit on my own time, but yeah, I've never actually studied with a master or legitimately learned a set of a specific type of martial arts. Would I like to at some point? Yeah, if the opportunity arises, I wouldn't mind learning. At least to a greater effect at any point. But no, and that being said, I feel I know enough that I can defend myself in a fight if I have to. Not that I ever want to, but I can. Parker Smith, 1 of 6. Would you rather have 4 arms or 2 arms, but they can stretch like Piccolos? I believe I answered this question. I went with, and me and Mark both agreed. We'd go with the Piccolo arms because the 2 arms, you probably have them right here and here. And on me, that's probably manageable. On someone like Mark, whose body is much larger and wider, that's going to be a bit more uncomfortable and a bit more cumbersome. Whereas the Piccolo arms, you can just take out the guy with the 4 arms from a distance, stretch to God knows how much, and then immediately retract them back, and you're good. And their arms are normally like your arms generally, so nothing changes. So I went with the stretchy Piccolo arms. Number 2, if you had the Omni Chicks and could choose any 10 aliens from any universe, what 10 would you choose? See, the problem with that is I just have to put Alien X, Atomics, and maybe like Clockwork on there. And I already have 3 of the most powerful aliens from Ben 10, who are amongst some of the most powerful aliens in all of cinematic history. But let's say that those 3 first off. I'd probably put Heat Blast in there because Heat Blast is always one of my favorites. And then I would probably put... Well, technically, New Gods are aliens, I suppose. So maybe I put a New God from the DC universe on there. Maybe Martians from the DC universe I put on there as well, because they're powerful as hell. If I go from the Marvel universe, maybe some Skrulls. I wouldn't do a Xenomorph on the strict basis that really, yeah, I'm powerful, but my best ability is actually my acid blood, which would only work if I got injured, and I don't want to be injured. 10 aliens? That's a little tough. Again, the thing is, once you get to like the uber powerful ones, I can just max out my power with those guys alone. Afterwards, everything else is just kind of superfluous. So, just to throw a couple more out there real quick. The Y8 from John Carter. The Venom symbiote. So there's that too, or a symbiote. I'll put a Clintar on there. And finally, whatever Beerus's race is. Just throwing him out there. Number 3. Would you rather switch your gender or your girlfriend switch gender? We read this one last time, and it's still an odd question. I went with, I'd switch my gender, because then it's like, hey, I got some girl and girl action. Yeah. But, I'd switch my gender, because I feel my girlfriend would love me regardless, and would at least be open to it. Now, if you asked her that question and she wanted to try that out, I mean, I would love her for her himself, so I would at least give it a shot. But if you're asking me which I would prefer, I guess I would take the switching my gender part. Thank you for the odd question. Would you rather live in the Naruto universe and have perfect chakra control, or live in the Dragon Ball universe and have perfect ki control? Well, ki allows you to do other things besides the chakra. Chakra can only, so many jutsu. I'd still have to learn the jutsu too. Whereas ki, I just gotta know how to fly an energy blast. I'll go with the perfect ki control, even if my ki is pretty low. Would you rather know the Shadow Clone Jutsu or your girlfriend know the Shadow Clone Jutsu? Oh yeah, now I remember. You think it'd be a kind of like ooh, but no, I'd learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu because the practical uses for that outweigh the sexy fun times I could have with my girlfriend knowing the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Because all the shit I could get done with the Shadow Clone Jutsu, you kidding me? Oh yeah, I'll do the Shadow Clone Jutsu any day of the week. I'll take it. And finally, if you're a D&D character, what would your stats actually be, and what would you want them to be, specifically using the standard point system? Well, what would I want them to be as maxed out as possible? What do I think they would be? If I remember correctly, it's strength, fortitude, intelligence, wisdom, constitution. I'm blanking on the other one. And me and Mark were kind of, I'm just fixing this right now. There we go. Making sure that's, there we go. Oh man, I'm forgetting all, because my girlfriend has like made up D&D sheets, but I don't know where they are right now. I'll say this right at the front. Strength wise, I'm probably a 10. Whatever is the highest for resistance for like pain and stuff like that, I think it's like fortitude or constitution, whatever. 15 there. Intelligence is probably at least a 13 or 14. I'll be honest, without having the actual, I could probably look at one second here. D&D stats. Hold on. D&D stats, because this is something that is kind of on my mind at the moment, because I remember how we kind of answered it prior. D&D stats. Okay, now what are the standard stats again? Okay, here we go. Strength, dexterity, constitution, wisdom, intelligence, and charisma, plus saving throws. So I'd probably put my strength, let's see, if I went the 8 is probably, it's probably on my wisdom. I mean, I definitely have wisdom, but if I were to frankly say max, go the other routes, the 10 probably goes on my dexterity, because I actually am a bit clumsy sometimes. The 12 would probably go on my intelligence. The 13 would probably go on my charisma. And then actually no, it probably goes on my strength. My charisma is a 14, and then my constitution's a 15. So that's where I put my stats. Mission Paul Marshall, congratulations on 6,000 subs. Thank you. What's your favorite anime opening and closing theme of all time? Opening, I couldn't tell you the opening. Closing theme, I will say this. One theme from Bleach stands out, and it's that happy people. Me and my girlfriend just do that every now and then. Happy people, ba, 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 everybody do. So yeah, I'd probably give that one, just because the themes I don't pay attention that much to them, if I'm going to be honest. Basanova Lobrecht. Who would win, Sterling Archer from TV show Archer or Stan Smith from American Dad? Archer, because Stan is a CIA agent and very good at his job for what it's worth. He's also a bit incompetent as well, whereas Archer, while kind of a dimwit, is also a savant when it comes to his job. So I would definitely go Archer. CJM, what if or who would win are you most looking forward to? Who would win? That's a tough one. Anything that deals with Bleach characters, I'm usually fond of, because I'm very well versed on my Bleach characters. So those ones I look forward to a lot. In terms of what if I'm looking forward to, I got a what if I'm actually going to do as soon as I'm done with whichever one I finish up for. Probably going to be the Dragon Ball Z one. The Dragon Ball what if I've got going on right now with Goku being adopted by the Briefs, or the Naruto Hinata on Team 7 what if. Whichever one I end first, almost certainly going to be the Dragon Ball one. The what if I have planned to supplant that one. That one is the one I'm looking forward to. And a little spoiler, it's my workaround with the My Hero thing. Like I said earlier, I don't generally right now do My Hero what ifs, because the series is far from done. The one I do have coming up, though, that will come after I'm done with one or the other, it is a way around that. So it is a My Hero what if. So just keep your eyes on that for when we get to that. The Mighty Twins, Tuck and Ella. From the top of your head, what is the best and worst movie in the MCU? The best movie? Oh, I'm trying to remember which one I said I liked the most. I can say the worst movie is probably Iron Man 2, and even that one. No, sorry, it's probably Thor 2, and even that one's okay. The worst of the MCU is okay. The best one, I'm trying to remember what I said. I would say it's probably either Civil War, or if I'm going to be honest, maybe Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Now, the reason I say that is because I love that movie a lot more than other people do. I'd have to really think on it more. But I love the movie a lot more than other people do, because the themes resonate very strongly with me. And even though it's about fathers and sons, my mother had just passed when that movie came out about 5 months prior. So that movie struck a chord in me in a different, even though it's, again, about fathers and sons, because of my mother recently passing at that point in time, that movie struck a strong chord with me. So, yeah, I think the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 it holds a pretty strong place for me there. What's your favorite Marvel hero and villain? My favorite Marvel hero, take Wolverine out of the equation, because we always want to say Wolverine. Moon Knight's a good one. He's basically Marvel's Batman. I do like Moon Knight. Daredevil, as we see him depicted in like the Netflix TV series, always liked him. But I'll say this, the Sentry's a pretty badass guy too. I like Sentry. Villain, Thanos is right up there. Apocalypse is a really good one as well. Marvel villains. Actually, you know what? Romulus. Because I always liked the idea of Romulus. Like essentially what happens if Wolverine had been a lot older and been a lot more evil. So yeah, I liked Romulus a lot. To you, what is the best Pokemon type? Take Dragon out of the equation again because it's kind of cheating. I actually like if we just go with like the type I almost always choose for my first playthrough with the starters, Grass. But if we're talking about overall typing, if I name three right off the top of my head, Dragon's going to be in there. But if I name three or four, let's say four. Steel, I love steel types because they're usually really unique. Ice types are also really cool. The glass cannon, it's a glass cannon type, but I love ice types. And I'll be honest, Dark is a cool type too. So those are some of my best favorite types, at least favorite types. Best type, it's probably Dragon, simply because it only has two weaknesses, Fairy and Dragon. And for a long time, it didn't even have that. It only had Dragon. Oh, sorry, Ice. It has Ice too. So actually, I got to take that back a little bit. Instead of a Dragon, well, nah, I'll still say Dragon. They can learn just about every move. That's one of the big things about Dragons. What is your favorite character from live action, cartoon, or anime? Well, from live action, Gregory House stands out as one. Nathan Fillion's character from Firefly and Serenity. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. And in more recent years, John Wick. John Wick's just because of, that badass action here. I like him. From cartoon, like straight cartoon, Slade from Teen Titans. Quagmire from Family Guy, and Rick from Rick and Morty. And then anime, Alucard, definitely up there. Kakashi, Kenpachi, Urahara, right off the top of my head. There's a couple of them. So yeah. What is the best and worst movie you've seen in your lifetime? There's only one movie me and Mark ever actually walked out on, and that's Norm of the North. We legitimately walked out of that movie. Take a couple others into equation that we nearly walked out on in my lifetime. Because you have to remember, there's only so far I can remember back with movies. I would say The Spirit was pretty bad, but I wouldn't say it's one of the worst. Young Adults, that was a tough set. I actually had me and Mark. I remember it's a true story. We were with him and his girlfriend at the time, and all of us at least at one point got out of went out to use the bathroom. And I kind of lingered a bit because I'm like, oh God, I don't want to go back in. Mark apparently had gotten out a couple times to use the bathroom, but other times just to kind of okay, I can just swallow. It gives me little, but it takes nothing. And then finally, last time he was going to try to get up, I just kind of grabbed his shoulder and sat him down. I'm like, you're sitting through this. Grin and bear it, asshole. Yeah, true story on that. That was one. Recently, Good Boys. I couldn't stand that movie. That was one of the worst movies I had seen in a while. Cats at least was entertaining in how bad it was. Good Boys just hurt. And Sun is also starred. That was another really bad movie. Oh, no, you know what? I'll take that back. Pan. Oh my God, is Pan terrible? Oh man, Pan is horrifying. Congratulations, Admiral Williams. Congratulations on 6,000 subscribers. Thank you. Are you into Warhammer 40k? And if you are, which is your favorite army? Now, I wish Mark was here for this because he answered. He really liked this question because he does play Warhammer 40k. I can't remember what he said for the factions he played. I do not myself. I do know a little of the lore, but it's thanks to Mark. So unfortunately, I don't. He does, and I can't remember what he said for the ones he plays. How do you think the Sharingan or Genjutsu will work on something like Professor X or Martian Manhunter? Well, both Professor X and Martian Manhunter have been susceptible to illusions, but they have to be severely powerful illusions, and they're usually from someone who's actually psychic, not from someone who's just capable of casting illusions. So the Genjutsu thing, it would have to be the top tier shit in that world, and even then I couldn't guarantee it. The Sharingan might, because the Sharingan has other abilities besides the Genjutsu. But still, it probably wouldn't work very well. Unless you're talking about a Madara, Kakashi, or Itachi using it. Or Sasuke. Luke Morehouse. Hi, and congratulations. I'm so happy you made it to this milestone. Thank you very much. Can't wait what happens when you make it to the next one. Now, time for questions. By the way, it's going to be one extra question because my grandma just died, and you normally allow 5. Is that okay? Well, first off, I'm sorry to hear that your grandma passed. Second off, if you can give however many questions you want to give. I don't normally put a limit on how many questions I do, so I don't know where you got that from. Did your grandmother limit you? I'm not certain what. no offense. I'm sure you're a little upset by I'm sure you're upset by your granddad. That comment comes off a little like she's gone now, so I can get all the questions I want. Yay! That's kind of how that came off. I'm sure you didn't mean it that way. I hope you didn't mean it that way. But anyway, what is your death? Excuse me. What is your death battle that you think they got wrong with the character? I'm guessing you mean what's the death battle you think they got wrong with the characters win? You said Gar versus Toph. I'll admit I was a little bummed by that one, but I actually agree with that one. A couple of the big ones that do come to mind. The Thanos versus Darkseid fight. If I'm going to be honest, I don't completely agree with that fight. But that's just my opinion on that. The Black Canary versus Sindal, I think that was her name. I'm not certain I agreed to that one, but I was okay with it. The Ben 10 versus Green Lantern one. Okay, I'll fully admit, I don't think I agree with that fight. I don't agree with that fight. Like, I thought Green Lantern would win for one reason, but then I also thought Ben 10 would win for another reason. And turns out that Green Lantern won, but for a completely different reason that they pretty much explained wouldn't work. So I don't quite get that one. But the one that I always go to, because I argue this one all the time, is the Goku versus Superman fight. Specifically, the part 2. The part 1, I don't really take, honestly, that much issue with the part 1. Now, that being said, did they still, when I actually looked at one of Seth the Programmer's videos, maybe his, maybe someone else, I did realize that, oh my god, they did pull the wool over our eye on that one. Because they not only did they lowball Goku, they did the same number in terms of like his stat for speed twice. Like his speed didn't change when his transform state. So they lowballed Goku insanely and just in speed alone. Plus they're doing Goku with his max strength like at the Buu Saga, which we know that's not as strong as he was. So it's like their method of judging Goku's power and stuff. I didn't really agree with it at all, quite frankly. But at the same time, I'm thinking, I was like, Goku might have been faster, but physically speaking, no. Even I have been like, no, Superman's far stronger and probably more durable. Ultimately, I didn't have too much of a problem with Goku versus Superman, part 1. I had a lot of problem with Goku versus Superman part 2. Because, look, I get it, he's Superman, and I hate Superman for how he's written. Because he's written, you want to talk about someone who's actually written as a Mary Sue. Superman is written as a Mary Sue. He can do whatever. They can do whatever. The only weakness he's got is magic, no special vulnerability or resistance to magic. So basically a weakness, and kryptonite. That's it. Or someone like Darkseid, who's actually stronger than Superman most of the time. That's it. I hate the way Superman's written, but okay, I get it. But for God's sake, you didn't even, like, their way they went over Goku's power in that video was so stupid. They didn't even talk about how strong he was. They didn't reference the fact that when he collided with Beerus, he literally was tearing the universe apart in a weakened Super Saiyan God form the first time he used it. Super Saiyan Blue is even stronger. Then Goku got Kaioken on there. Now, obviously, this was before the Kaioken stuff, I'm pretty certain. But still, and now he's got Ultra Instinct. Look, if you did all of that and still could find a way to rationalize that Superman won, then I still probably would have disagreed, but I wouldn't have had as much problem with it. The problem is that it's clear that there was a severe bias towards Superman. Like, I very rarely think that Death Battle is actually that biased. Like, most of the time, I really don't think they are. I think they actually do pretty solid research comparing the two. And I think, like, especially when, like, with the Goku versus Obi-Wan, Kakashi versus Obi-Wan fight, for example, I was rooting for Kakashi. I thought Kakashi was going to win. But when I heard that he was compared to a Jedi who moved as singularity, a.k.a. a black hole, I'm like, oh, crap. Yeah, Obi-Wan's going to win this. Oh, it was still a great fight. Between the two, I prefer Kakashi. I love Obi-Wan, but I prefer Kakashi. But whatever. It is what it is. But with the Goku versus Superman one, that one's like, wow, that one, you can actually kind of tell the bias there. You could actually tell it was there a little bit. Like, oh no, he's Superman. It's like, is that fair though? That he's Superman? Like, he should just automatically beat everyone because he's Superman. To me, that's A, not good writing for a character, and B, not good research on your part. So if I were to say a big one, that's the big one I had a problem with. Have you ever thought of getting yourself a Patreon? Because I think people would spend money to see your content early, and you don't have to. If first off, I know you're trying. I mean, try to be a bit more concise with what you're saying. I don't know what that last part means. In terms of a Patreon, me and Mark have discussed it, but here's the problem with like getting content early out, or getting content out early, is that I can't even guarantee when I get content out. Like, I have a general schedule, I do, but a lot of the time, sometimes I have to pre-record something, which understandably so, it means I could get it out early, or you might have to delay it for the next day, because again, I'm not doing this as my job. I don't get paid to do my YouTube channel. I just do it for fun, and maybe hopefully I get paid someday. That's a fever dream, but anything's possible. And really, the Patreon, let's be honest, most of that money would just go to the channel. It wouldn't go to me or Mark. It would just go to improve the channel. Now, that would help get money ultimately, but long term. But for me to have a Patreon and warrant having the Patreon and like do content early, I would have to basically quit my job. And I can't do that. So, yeah, right now there's no plans for a Patreon. Plus, if I were to do something just for the Patreon users, I'd want it to be more special than what I do now. Because if I were to just do something on the Patreon, it would just be me doing what I'm kind of doing now. I don't have that lot of tech or finesse or anything like that right now. So, or resources. So, yeah, that would probably be my... excuse me. I had some soda earlier, so my throat's a little coated at the moment. And plus, talking a lot doesn't help. So yeah, I'd have to be doing something really special to warrant making a Patreon. If you can have an SCP, which SCP would it be? And you have to do research or you have to have a reason for it. You can go online and try to see all the SCP. Okay, the problem is there's over 5,000 of them. They're still adding more. B, I remember, I think I got like in the mid 300s when I started going through all the SCPs at one point. I think there's some that like can heal you and have no ramifications or anything like that. So maybe want something like that. If you're saying if I could have an SCP and like have it fully under my control, well, geez, then I'd have like the one that's God essentially, like the God, like the old man who can do anything. I'd have him under there, my control, or I'd have I believe it's 686 or no, it's SCP 690. Which one is it? SCP the reptile, basically the one that's like SCP 682. The one that basically the reptile that can't be destroyed. It comes, but it's basically the doomsday, if you will, of the SCPs that it just can't be destroyed. Or if you were to destroy it, you have to essentially get rid of it in its entirety. Otherwise, it will come back and immune to what killed it. So if I could have one under my control, something like that, or the serpent that's essentially the Midgard serpent that's located in the Arctic in Greenland, I believe, that's that's sleeping under an ice glacier. What got you in the SCP universe in general? And please be specific and you don't have to if you don't want to, but it helps. Really, it's just a matter of finding weird, strange stuff online. You hear things from people, and then someone probably says, hey, check this out. You do, and there you are, the SCPs, and it's a cool thing. Especially if you like weird creatures, weird supernatural stuff. Yeah, so that's probably what got me in there. Number 6, what do you think... Number 5, if you were part of a clan in Naruto, what clan would you be, and you have to have a reason why. I remember now. It's the Cayuga clan. Basically, the ones with the dead bone pulse. Because A... possibility I could have the bone release, so that would be really cool. And B, it'd be kind of cool to be the last of those guys. What do you think of Danny Phantom and Naruto What If crossover? I'm thinking it starts with... Well, I'm not going to go into the full brief of this question. I believe I have that suggestion down at some point, so don't worry. I will get to that at some point. Excuse me. Jackson Smith, can you please do a what if Naruto was on Team 10, please? That's on the short list of what ifs that a lot of people have asked me to do, so don't worry, I'll get to that at some point. Ozzy Famine, if you were transported to another world, what world would you choose? And what's your thoughts on D&D? I like it. I play it. Well, not very often, but I do get around to playing it every now and then. In terms of transport to another world, that all depends. Am I a normal person? If I get transported to John Wick's world, am I a cool assassin, or am I just a normal guy caught in the crosshairs? If I get transported to aliens, am I a cool badass space marine, or am I going to be the fodder for the egg laying? So it's a tough question. I believe I actually answered this at one point though. I choose Pokemon just because, taking care of pets pretty easy to do already. And then it's kind of a organized cockfight, if you will, but whatever. So Pokemon. Smolder and Oculus of the Young Six. What's your favorite characters from your favorite TV show? Well, first off, I don't know if I have an absolute favorite TV show. If I were to say a couple off the top of my head, Rick from Rick and Morty, and Mr. Poopy Butthole, Gregory House, and Wilson from House. Those are two off the top of my head. What's your favorite Pokemon generation? Ooh, that's a good one. That's probably a video I need to actually do at some point. I probably will get to that at some point because I got other videos to do about Pokemon. I'll probably have to start making a Pokemon corner at some point because I have a DBZ corner, superhero corner, Star Wars corner, a Naruto corner. I'll probably have to make a Pokemon corner at some point. My favorite generation. Now, here's the thing. Technically speaking, remakes. Would you count the remakes of a generation, like say, like the Gen 3, like Hoenn remakes in Gen 6 as part of the Gen 6 generation or the Gen 3 generation? Because if I were to say what my favorite generation is, it's probably either Generation 4, because Diamond and Pearl are pretty good games, but then you got Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which are really good games. Or it might be Generation 6 because of just the technological leap. Plus, we got the remakes of the Hoenn games, which were my favorite games for the longest time. And it might still be. I'd have to really think about that again. But yeah, that might be. I'd say Gen 6 just because they gave me a remade version of the Hoenn games, which were my favorite games for whatever. Who would win just a who would win idea. Okay, so I know you've given me the Oculus versus Ditto suggestions quite a few times. Don't worry, it's on the list. But here's the thing. I don't know enough about My Little Pony to give you an answer at this point. Ditto from Pokemon versus Oculus. I'm going to go with Oculus just because Ditto is only as good as the original, and even so, the original has more experience with its abilities. I don't know who Smolder, frankly, is, so that one I can't give you an answer on. Sorry. Do you like hip-hop, rock, classic, or blues? Yes. I actually like all of those genres and so forth. My favorite of those four is rock, followed by blues. Classic is fine, assuming if you mean... Well, no. Classic... do you mean classic as in classical, or just classic as in different type of music? Either way, yes. And hip-hop on some occasions. Depends on the song. And then what Lantern Corps do Young Six from My Little Pony belong to? I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head. I checked that at one point. That's 6 individuals, each with a different Lantern Corps. So, possibly. So that's a big video to do for a Lantern Corps video. So, I can't give you a definitive answer right now. Victor Von Doom, have you seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventures or Hunter x Hunter yet? No, I have not, unfortunately. Which do you think is the better scientist? Orochimaru, Mayuri Koretsuchi, Orochimaru, Medusa Gorgon, or Frankenstein from Soul Eater? Probably not Orochimaru, if I'm going to be honest. Just because he's not doing a lot in the name of science, doing it in the name of himself. He just happens to be a bit of a scientist. Medusa Gorgon and Frankenstein Soul Eater, I'll admit, I don't really watch those, so I couldn't give you a definitive answer, but even if I knew them, I'd still probably lean to Mayuri Koretsuchi because he just invents things for the sake of science itself, and the amount of inventions he's made is seriously impressive. So of those four, I will say Mayuri. Would you rather be Ghost Rider or the Spectre? Depending on the version of the Spectre you're asking, I'd still go Ghost Rider. The Spectre is like God, but Ghost Rider, it's just cooler to be Ghost Rider, quite frankly. So I'd say Ghost Rider. Which do the Hero Society better? One Punch Man or My Hero? I'm actually going to say My Hero, and here's the reason why. Like, there's a lot of heroes in One Punch Man. Very few of them actually have legitimate abilities. A lot of them are just, like, powers. A lot of them just individuals doing the best. But the problem is when you actually look at the threats in One Punch Man, everyone except for Saitama and, the Psychic Girl are kind of useless in many ways. Like, they still are able to tackle a lot of their villains, but then they get villains that just can't do crap, and it's just Saitama who just one-punches them. And, like, no matter how hard to try, like, Sea King, for instance, isn't even the strongest kind of individual they fought, and most heroes couldn't do crap against him. And then Saitama comes and just blows his chest out. But in the My Hero world, most heroes are actually pretty competent in what they do. It's just sometimes they'll fight a villain that's strong against them, then they call another hero in, and that hero works it out. The only one they had a problem with, frankly, is All For One, and even then, it stands to reason that Endeavor might have been able to put All For One down if he really wanted to. It's just that this was All Might's fight. So I'd say My Hero does the hero stick better. And then who would win? Hero Killer Stain or Garou? I believe that I know who that is, and I will say Garou because his quirk would be a problem for Garou, and then you just kill him. But again, I think I wrote that down, so don't worry. Okay, we'll get to that actual who would win that at some point. Sheridan Road, what's your favorite Konoha clan? If it's Uchiha or Uzumaki, is your number? What's your next favorite? Well, I would have said that it was Uzumaki probably, so to go beyond that, I will say the Naras because they're lazy, but geniuses, and the Shaos are pretty cool. What Naruto filler arc would you like to be canon, including in your what ifs? None of them, because even the best ones are just taking up space for the real story. My God. Same question, but for Dragon Ball. Problem with Dragon Ball, and if you mean Dragon Ball Z, is that they barely had any filler arcs. But that said, I'll go with the Otherworld Tournament arc, because that's a cool arc. That was just a good filler. If all summons could teach Sage Mode, which character would you have learn it? Probably Guy. Because Dog Sage Mode would kind of be weird for Kakashi, but Turtle Sage Mode actually makes a lot of sense. So I'd probably go Guy on that. Moro Tom, who would win in the fight, Generator X or Rex Salazar versus Slender Man? Probably Rex, just because of the sheer level of power, but again, I'd have to actually do a legitimate fight for that. Mohawk Indians, Blood Indians Never Lie, recently ordered a real Shao Kahn helmet, right on for you, man. What is your favorite fictional character? Fictional character? In like general, that I couldn't answer you that question. Maybe Batman or something like that. Character items that you may own. What's your favorite? Favorite fictional character items that you may own that I could own, like a prop replica. The original lightsaber from Star Wars. The idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark. That would be sick. Honestly, I mean, the Infinity Gauntlet, like the legitimate giant metal one they had that could move, I'd be down for that, quite frankly. I mean, I got plenty of replicas of them. I'd be down for that, too. That's just to name a couple off the top of my head. And would you ever do Shao Kahn versus Super Shredder video? I'll be honest, it's probably going to go the same way as the original Shredder video, but yes, I'd be willing to do it. I think the Super Shredder would put up a better fight than 2003 Shredder. Also, how old are you? I am 30. Sorry if I misspelled a lot, and if it's too many questions in one. By the way, I like your channel a lot, and I think your versus battles are extremely accurate and entertaining. Well, at least somebody thinks I'm right. No, I mean, you don't have to think I'm right, but I appreciate you think I'm accurate in what I do. I do the best I can, quite frankly. A lot of people call me out on that. I was like, look, I'm just a guy getting information from the internet. So, don't at me. Sometimes the information I get might even be wrong. So I'm sorry if you feel I'm getting it wrong. Just checking my time here. We're not even at that. We're just going on an hour now. Good. Because we're getting close to the end here. Lewis AA. What if Naruto was in full Uzumaki? What if Naruto's parents survived? Well, both of those I do have as what ifs. Here's the problem. I'm assuming when people ask me to do the full Uzumaki thing, first off, there's no way, unless Minato is a secret Uzumaki, there's no way he can be a full-blooded, pure Uzumaki. He's half Namikaze, whatever bloodline that actually is for Minato, and he's half Uzumaki. He's still pretty much a pure Uzumaki, but still. But when people say that, I'm guessing they mean, what if Naruto had the adamantine chains like his mom? That's, I'm guessing, what I think they mean. Look, I can just give him the adamantine chains. He doesn't have to be a full Uzumaki. So, yeah, don't worry. The adamantine chains, I've had that plenty of times. Same with the full Uzumaki. So anyone who's giving me the full Uzumaki stuff, at this point, I'm just going to write it as the adamantine chains. And I'm just going to convert that into one full what if. So, yeah, sorry. Young Rico77, I'm really begging you to do a what if Batman was born in the Naruto world. And then a couple people basically said that, Shared the Road said that, that's Sasuke minus the butler. What if Alfred was a retired showman as the Uchiha servant? And then there was more conversation beyond that. I'll put it as a what if, but I can't guarantee when I'll get to it. Sorry. But yeah, it is on the books. Wade Wilson, 1-7. I'll try to go through this fast. Congratulations on the subs. Thank you. Would you rather be a Senju or an Uchiha? Senju. The Uchiha are great, but you have to activate this Sharingan, go through a lot of stress and stuff, and quite frankly, that's not worth it. Senju just got a lot more going for him in terms of vitality, life force, all that. Who's the better swordsman? Rona Zoro from One Piece, Kenshin Nomura, Samurai Jack, or Rukia Kuchi? Scratch Rukia right out of there. She's a good swordsman, but that's not her specialty. Kido is. I'd also scratch Jack out of there. Jack is a warrior, a samurai warrior, and a skilled swordsman, but his overall skill comes from more ability as a swordsman, come from more of his actual skill as a swordsman, as a samurai and all the tricks he's learned, martial arts, archery, all that, than actual swordsman, though he's a highly skilled swordsman. So it comes down to Kenshin and it comes down to Zoro. Zoro has the 3-sword style, but quite frankly, I'd go with Kenshin. Kenshin is a pure swordsman through and through, and he doesn't have any enhanced abilities either. Whereas Zoro's got like hockey and things along those lines, which enhances swordsmanship. So that's kind of cheating. What Atlantic Core does Spike Spiegel belong into? Probably will, but I would have to do a full video on that. Who do you think is more badass? Kenpachi, Alucard, or Spike Spiegel? Me and Mark actually had an interesting conversation when we did this question. For me, it's Kenpachi, but that's only because of, like, if we're talking about the supernatural aspects behind all of this, Spike is doing a lot of hardcore shit, and he's only human. So I'd actually put Spike as the most badass simply because he's strictly human in the shit he's pulling off. But if you go between Alucard and Kenpachi, I'm going Alucard 100%. I'm going Kenpachi 100%. I had to do a video of those two fighting at some point. Who would win, Batman or Taskmaster? Batman with a lot of difficulty because Taskmaster can copy Batman's moves. Would you do a Lantern Corps week? I'd toy with the idea. I already do a week of who would win and what if. So I either have to say, all right, this week I'm not doing one or the other. I'm doing the Lantern a week instead, or I would have to already pull up another week, and that's already a lot. Granted, the Lantern Corps videos are the most simple to do among the 3 video types, but that's still a lot. Maybe at some point I'll consider a Lantern Corps video week, but right now, no, I have no plans to do that. What's your favorite Shonen Jump series? Probably either Bleach, Naruto, or Dragon Ball. Probably Bleach. Egotistical Ghost. Do you know the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? It's a Sith legend. Darth Plagueis the Wise was a master of the Sith, so powerful on the dark side he could influence the midichlorians and create life. The only thing he feared was losing his power, which eventually he did. Yes, I'm aware of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Malik Johnson, are you going to do a what if about Goku had a Rinnegan? It'd be very OP and cool. At some point. At some point I will. Sosuke Aizen, trying to manipulate me to his ends. Ask 1 of 6 questions. Would you rather be a god of destruction or a herald of Galactus? God of destruction. Herald of Galactus, you're a herald of Galactus. You are beholden to Galactus at that level. God of destruction, you're not beholden to anyone. Even your angel attendant, you're not actually beholden to it. And you're probably strong enough to destroy a universe. So yeah, I'd go with that. Who's more dangerous? The League of Assassins, the Foot Clan, or the Hand? League of Assassins. The Foot Clan is kind of a joke. Even in the comics, they're still kind of a joke. The Hand, unfortunately, the most recent exposure to the Hand I have is the Daredevil series and like the Netflix series, and they're kind of a joke in the Netflix series comparatively. So it's the League of Assassins. Who is the more overall genius? Rick Sanchez, Stewie Griffin, Mr. Fantastic, or Batman? Unfortunately, Batman's actually probably the least. Batman is the least genius because both Mr. Fantastic, Rick Sanchez, and Stewie can travel through dimensions and time. I'd put Stewie below Rick, even though they actually did fight in one brief episode, or not episode, but like crossover that they did. But I would put Rick Sanchez over Stewie because even Stewie said like anti-gravity beams like belong beyond his technology when he fought against the little girl that he was like the Mr. and Mrs. Stewie episode. Whereas Rick could easily make an anti-gravity beam with no problem. So, and Rick can portal hop no problem, whereas Stewie struggles with that. Like, it takes a lot for Stewie to be able to do that. And then that forces us against Mr. Fantastic and Rick Sanchez. And that is tough. I will still say, though, I will go with Rick Sanchez just because he literally invented portal hop. He can portal hop easier than any of them can. So I'm going to go with that, if no other basis. The fact that he invented his interdimensional travel is far better than theirs. What is your favorite shonen anime? I believe I already basically addressed it with the shonen series, but probably Bleach. Though I would say My Hero is probably coming in a close second at this point. What anime fights what is an anime fight that you can never get tired of? Kenpachi versus Narutora, that from Bleach. I love that fight to death. Like, that is a fantastic fight. Also, probably Ichigo versus Ukihara. Yeah, Ukihara, that's a fantastic fight as well. And I'm just going by Bleach at the moment. Honestly, Shunsui versus Stark was a fantastic fight too. So those would probably be some of them right off the top of my head, but at least from Bleach. Then Alucard versus Anderson, going from when he does a release restraint level 0 to when he actually kills Anderson. That entire fight, I could watch that over and over again. Going by Dragon Ball Z, probably the Goku versus Frieza or the Goku versus Cell fight right up there. Although I'll say this, the full Goku versus Jiren fight is a damn good fight. That's a damn good. And the Goku versus Kefla fight has one of the best endings to a fight. Sliding the Kamehameha wave, just seeing the look on her face like, ah! Great fight there. Any other fights beyond that? That's a good question. You know what? In Rurouni Kenshin, the Kenshin versus, the police officer who was Kenshin's old enemy. That first fight they have when they get back, that's a damn good fight. I love that fight too. So yeah, those are a couple off the top of my head. Saiyan versus Kryptonian, Saiyan or Kryptonian. Here's the weird thing. By most definite, like in my current circumstance, as I live now as a human on Earth, I'd be a Kryptonian because ultimately I'll turn into a Superman. But if you're asking me which is better, Saiyan or Kryptonian, I'm actually going to say Saiyan because Saiyans overall are stronger than humans by a good margin. Like your average Saiyan versus your average Saiyan's at least got power level somewhere in the couple of hundreds. Even your low class Saiyan is still in the thousands. Your elites are in the upper thousands and then double digit thousands. But normally humans barely crack like double digits most of the time. And I mean double digits like 10s or 15s. So, and the problem with that is Kryptonians, if they don't have a yellow or a blue sun, are just human. They are no different than humans. So, oddly enough, Saiyans can go anywhere and still be as strong as they are. Kryptonians have to be careful actually where they are because of how their energy is fed. So I'd actually say Saiyans overall, but Kryptonians if you're asking me which I'd rather be. Japanese Symbol for Beginner asks, do you watch other What If YouTubers and who's your favorite? I watch a couple. Moscow X is a big one for me. I occasionally will tune into some other ones, like if I just randomly find one, but generally speaking it's Moscow X. And that's mostly for Dragon Ball. Malik Johnson also writes, yeah! Well, yeah. The anime trumpeter. What if Goku had the Sharingan? He'd have a great level of perception, especially given how powerful he gets. But seeing as there's no jutsu, there's nothing he can copy. He could probably activate the Mangekyo, no doubt. But unfortunately, if he actually knows how to use the Mangekyo, and then wondering what his Mangekyo ability actually is, then he's just going to end up going blind eventually because there's no other Sharingans in the universe. So that's my short answer. Eventually, I will do that one. Marcus Kane, who would you rather be? I'm guessing Ghost Rider, Hellspawn, or Soul Reaper. In terms of pure power, Ghost Rider. Unless my Soul Reaper ability is going to give me power on par with Ghost Rider, in which case Soul Reaper. But in terms of overall, I would be a Soul Reaper because the Zanpakuto is one of the coolest things about Bleach. I'd love to know what my Zanpakuto does and is. Have you heard of the Fate series? I have. Number 3, who do you think is the worst dad? Yujiro Hama or Hikachi Mishima? You know what? Let me actually look up who that is real quick because I remember this question and me and Mark didn't know who this was, but we knew the name vaguely. Let me see who this is. Hikachi Hishima. From Tekken. Okay, no, I know exactly who you're talking about now. The worst father? No doubt it's Mishima. See, Yujiro is a bad dad. He killed Baki's mom and everything, but at the same time, he holds respect for Baki because of how strong he is. In the actual manga, which continued on later, he actually gained a lot of respect because Baki actually challenged him and actually made him. There was this thing where he basically mentally created like ramen and stuff like mental imaging and all. And then at one point, it's like, yeah, whatever, that's not real. And then Baki was like, holy crap, he flipped the table. And then he realized he made me for a second believe the table was real. That's my boy. It's like because of this, he actually has a respect for his son. He just wants kind of what's best for his son as a warrior and all that. So ultimately, I'd actually say, yeah, Mishima is far worse. Which is better, Infinity Gauntlet with all the stones or the anti-life equation? Infinity Gauntlet, because it can counter the anti-life equation. The soul and the Mind Stone alone can counter the anti-life equation. Would you rather have the mask or Deadpool's powers? The Deadpool. I'd rather have Deadpool's powers because it's healing factor mostly. Because the mask is going to take away some of your free will. It's going to affect you psychologically in ways that Deadpool's won't. Favorite mythological gods? I like a lot of the gods of death. Mostly like Anubis. I do like Hades a lot, but there's other gods too. Norse gods, technically Fenrir isn't a god, he's a god killer, but I like Fenrir. The Midgard serpent is, again, not a god technically, but is cool. It is a cool. Hela is also cool, gods of death. So yeah, those are some I definitely like. Which is the worst situation? Skynet Uprising, Helgas Army, or Wolfenstein Nazis? Probably the Skynet, because with the other two, we can use technology to fight them. In Skynet's case, technology is going to kill us. And we're so dependent on our technology these days that we are going to be screwed. Trick Gaming. What Naruto What If are you planning to do next? I actually don't know right now. I'm waiting. I got to finish up my current Naruto What If before I even think of that. And I've still got at least a good 5 to 8 more videos of that minimum. So, yeah. Because we're not even out of part 1 of Naruto yet. We're not even in the Shippuden era yet. Soldier Boy Fredo, what if Naruto was a full Uzumaki? I already answered this. I'm assuming you mean if he gets the adamantine chains. So don't worry, that is on the what if list. If he had adamantine chains, he'd be a lot less crappy in school, I'd imagine, at least in the physical parts of it. Ghost the Juicy Gamer Boy Sadberry, what if Shikamaru was on Team 7? That's on the what if list. It'd be a very interesting change up because that's actually asking then, do I change up, do I take Sasuke or Sakura or Naruto off the Team 7 list? Think about that for a second. You're not asking if I switch him with someone, with a specific someone. You're asking if he's on Team 7. That then, I think, I'll be honest, from the way they explain it, I'd actually have to switch him out with Naruto because his grades were almost as bad, if not worse than Naruto. That's flat out said. So, yeah, think about that for a second. But we'll see what happens when I eventually get to it. Morog. Vulgar, rude, racist question? For those of you who don't remember when I announced this, I'm not going to answer rude or racist questions. I've actually had to delete a comment recently because they actually were advertising an adult meetup site. So I'm like, yeah, get that off my channel, dude. Pickle Monster. So yeah, just letting you know, I don't want to really tolerate kind of that behavior if I can. Because look, we're here to have fun. Don't be a jerk or an ass. Don't do that. Pickle Monster, why don't you put ads on your videos? If you're meaning why I don't put ads like within the videos themselves, there's usually ads up front because my videos aren't monetized. At least at the beginning. Really, it's just I don't know how to really do that. Maybe Mark will figure it out or something like that. But yeah, I just don't really do it. Plus, I would need to figure out the right place to put the ad. Dude hit 6,000 from Kalen, by the way, or BTW. Yes, I did. Thank you. Daniel Hilgeman, I think it is. Hi, man. Hope you're doing good. I love your channel and videos. I hope you noticed my What If Goku trained Naruto. Still think it would be amazing. Another one is What If Naruto was banished from the Leaf Village, or some would call if the Golden Fox. You don't have to comment on either note. You may want to do your own version of the Golden Fox. I'm thinking what you're referring to is that someone did a What If called the Golden Fox, and that's what it's called, or fan fiction. It's very, very long, or just give your thoughts. I'll have to look up the Golden Fox. It would be awesome if you did it and comment on though. Thanks. Well, yes, don't worry. They're both on the list. In terms of, what if Goku trained Naruto? That's on the list. And what if he was banished? I've had a lot of people ask about that. So don't worry, it's on the list. In terms of what I think about that, if Goku trained Naruto would be, because he'd learn to use ki, not just chakra, he'd probably be insanely strong. In terms of if he was banished, that one is a very interesting prospect. So I'd have to think about that. Because if he set up like a village with all the other Jinchuriki, that's different than just what if he did that. But oh well. And then last but not least, Arby the Pirate Pup. Which is better, Blue Eyes White Dragon or the Red Eyes Black Dragon? As someone who's actually played Yu-Gi-Oh! Before, for quite a bit of years, and has kept up a little bit on recent like deck types and archetypes and all that stuff, I actually go with the Red Eyes Black Dragon. It just has more things that can go with it than the Blue Eyes. Would you be a ninja or a samurai? Probably a samurai, just because it'd be cooler to use a sword. But ninjas are also stealthy. How ninjas were trained to take out samurai. But I'd probably be a samurai. But you're not. But are you asking me in the context of a Naruto world? In which case, then I'd be a ninja. But or are you asking me in the context of just the real world? In which case, I'd rather be a samurai. Probably a Ronin though, because I don't like to be holden to anyone. Two what if ideas. What if Naruto forms a Jinchuriki alliance, and what if the Hidden Leaf Village had a 10-tailed wolf? Well, if he formed a Jinchuriki alliance, that'd be a pretty powerful alliance. And if the leaf had a 10-tailed wolf, then where the hell is it? That'd probably be one of the big bases of the story. Also, who would win? The Avengers from the MCU versus the Z Fighters from Dragon Ball? Seeing as they weren't really the Z Fighters until Dragon Ball Z. Z Fighters, because not one Avenger from the MCU can blow up a planet with their finger. So, yeah, and that's the thing. When are you talking about in the series of Dragon Ball? Are we talking about early Dragon Ball Z when Thor and Hulk would still stand a solid chance of beating them down? Or are we talking about when we get to the universal levels of power with Goku and Vegeta, in which case, no, there's no way any of them are beating Goku and Vegeta. Finally, what kind of cakes do you like? I've grown more fond of cake over the years. I just don't love cake. I like cake a lot, and there's some cakes I love. Mostly, I'm not picky over, I don't like carrot cake at all. But I do like things like rum cake is delicious. I haven't had a good rum cake in a while. There was a cannoli cake from a diner that closed and reopened, but it's not the same place anymore, sadly. That cannoli cake was to die for, because it was the cannoli filling in the cake, and it had a cannoli on top. And like rich chocolate cakes, like rich dark fudge chocolate cakes. Oh, I love those too. So that would be those would be my favorite cakes. But that is the end of this what if. Or what if this Q&A. Thanks for joining along. Thanks for riding the wave with us. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, share, subscribe as always. I will have other videos out, but this is the week of what if, so keep your eyes out for that. I don't really have any other plans at the moment. Like, no videos even for the remaining of the day. I'm just going to upload this and be done. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow is the what ifs plus the death battle prediction, because we got Danny Phantom versus Jake Long tomorrow. There'll be who would win tomorrow too. I got 3 videos tomorrow actually. Yeah, there we go. German 3. So yeah, got that. Then got Atlantic Court. Yeah, so basically an average week this week. I'm getting a lot of Magic stuff in, so I don't think I'll do any opening videos. But if I'm getting distracted, because I ordered a lot of Magic from the Ikoria set that came out that was able to finally get a hold of. I'm like, yes, mine. So to be focusing on that too. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Later.